moderator, Sir Miguel Braganza, and also the presenters for the today's webinar and all participants present over here. The topic for today's webinar is planting and care of root vegetables at home and in your fields. So I will like to make a little announcement for all our participants to kindly mute their audios and videos, and also make sure that you're not presenting your screen while the webinar is going on. And if you have any queries about the presentation during the presentation is going on, you can just type them in the chat box, or we have a question answer session in the end of the webinar wherein you can directly ask your question to the speaker. Otherwise, you can just type them in the chat box, which will be answered at the end of the webinar. To start, without a further ado, I would like to start with the first speaker, Ms. Liza Pinero. Her topic for today is planting and care of beetroots. To tell you a little information about Lisa, she is an agriculture graduate from Don Bosco College of Agriculture. She is a founder of kitchen gardening and plant health consultancy called Fruits of Hard Work. She conducts various webinars and trainings on kitchen gardening, composting, pest and disease management, and other agriculture activities for schools, colleges, farmers, and gardeners. She does consultations on setting up of kitchen gardens, orchards, composting, beekeeping, planting and manuring trees, then mushroom cultivation, and pest and disease management. Over to you, Lisa. You can go.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. Good evening, everyone. So today I'll be talking about beetroot planting and care in fields and at homes. So before growing beetroot, we must remember that beetroot is cold season crop and it cannot be grown in warm weathers. But since Goa has very short winter, that is from November to February, we can start sowing seeds of beetroot now so that we get good roots in the month by the end of January or February. Now we'll see how to go about. The first thing is selection of site. You need to select a place or a land in your garden or in the field which does not get very hot in these coming months. It must be cool and open to direct sunlight. Next thing is you can prepare raised beds like it's in this picture, or you can create ridges wherein you can sow beetroot seeds. And since beetroot is a root vegetable, it needs porous soil. And if it is too hard and it gets compact in when you water it, that should be avoided by adding leaves in it. You can loosen the soil or collect leaves from your orchards, or you can collect leaves from your garden and mix it in the soil so that it becomes soft, and also it retains moisture and drains out if there is excess moisture and there is a good amount of porosity. So this is all you need to make sure. Also, I'm not recommending to go for a large commercial beetroot cultivation. You can have it as a mixed crop along with other vegetables. You can grow it along with marigolds, or you can grow it with red amaranthus, spinach, or fenugreek, which can be harvested very quickly. So you can have it in your gardens, or you can grow it on small scale in field. The next step is, if you're planning to grow it in pots, you need to make sure that your pots have holes at the base to drain out excess moisture, excess water. Then you need to add a layer of coconut husk or gravel. So this prevents the soil from leaching out from these holes. Then you need to prepare a potting mix. Now the potting mix should be proportionate and should be porous. It should not have too much of compost and also not too much of coco. So the ratio is 3 parts of coco pit, 2 parts of soil and 1 part of compost. Now Goan soil is laterite. It has sometimes it has stones and clods. So you can, if that's the case, then you can go for 3 parts of coco pit. If it is fine and does not have too many stones, you can go for 2 parts of coco pit. Now substitute for coco pit is rice husk, dried leaves or sawdust. So you can, if you do not have coco pit, you can go for these. Then you can put the potting mix it thoroughly and put the potting mix in your pot, and then you can sow beetroots. Now in the first picture, these are beetroot seeds which almost looks similar to spinach seeds. The only difference is when these germinate, it will look like spinach, but the difference is the veins and the stem will have red color, wherein for spinach it is always green color. Now the method of sowing is dibbling. You cannot raise seedlings for transplanting in case of beetroots because these are root vegetables, and when you disturb the root vegetables it will get shock and you won't get proper roots. So the correct method of sowing beetroot is dibbling method. You need to space out seedlings at least 15 to 20 centimeter apart from each other, and pot size should be at least 10 to 12 inches deep if you are growing beetroot seeds in pot. Now in this case you can see the seedlings were just broadcasted and it has overcrowded. So if this happens, you need to retain the healthy ones and thin out the weaker ones, so that when the plant grows of this size, like in the lower side of your of the presentation, you can see one seedling grown into a big plant. So this is the size one plant grows. So if it is too crowded, then you can thin out and give it some space to grow. And as a manure, you can add a handful of vermicompost or farmyard manure so that it grows well. Make sure that you do not add too much of compost because that will result only in foliar growth. You can add rock phosphate or bone meal, or you can add any wood ash or potash mobilizing bacteria, a culture of potash mobilizing bacteria, so that it grows well. And now since it's a root vegetable, it is difficult to know for many like when to harvest it. It usually takes 9 to 10 weeks for beetroots to get ready after sowing. And the sign of harvesting is every root vegetable will always pop up 1 inch above the soil when it is ready for harvesting. Like for about in 9 to 10 weeks, you will see the upper surface of the stem and the lower part of the leaves will appear on top of the soil. So that is the time you need to harvest it. If you delay in harvesting, it will start rotting or it will become over mature and will taste pithy. So make sure that you harvest it at the right time. Also, leaves of beetroot can be used to prepare, can be used as a vegetable. It can be eaten as salads or you can cook and eat it. So this is how it's grown in rectangular pots. So, and how to harvest it, you can just loosen the soil around the beetroot, grasp all the leaves and pull out the vegetable gently. So, and wash it and you can use it directly. Now there are very few diseases in beetroot. The common one is damping off and Cercospora leaf spot. The damping off occurs at seedling stage. If the seedlings get attacked by disease causing fungi, you can treat the seeds of beetroot before sowing with Trichoderma viridae. You can take for 1 kilo seed it is 10 grams. So you can, for a little bit of seed, a handful of seeds, you can put 5 grams or 1 gram of Trichoderma, sprinkle a little bit of water, dry it in the shade, and then you can go for sowing. And in this case, when you see circular leaf spots with dark margins, you can spray Pseudomonas at the rate of 10 ml per liter of water on the leaves to prevent this disease. So this is Trichoderma, which you can use for seed treatment, and this is Pseudomonas available as Persha, which you can use as a foliar spray. Now we look at some of the pests. The common one is leaf hopper. Now leaf hopper is a sucking pest, and it transmits leaf curl viruses in plants. So if this happens, you will see, if this pest attacks, you will see the leaves getting curly and turning yellow. So it's a sign it is infested by leaf hoppers or any other sucking pest. And the second one is leaf miner. So this fly lays eggs on the leaves, and the larva of these fly, the maggots, eat the inner tissue of the leaves, and that's why you see these white color patches or spiral designs. And for these two pests, you can control by spraying Beauveria bassiana or metarhizium. You can dilute at the rate of 10 ml per liter of water on the leaves, or hang hang the yellow sticky traps in your gardens because these sucking pests get attracted to yellow color. So when you hang these sticky traps, the insects will get attracted to yellow color, and since it is coated with adhesive, it will stick to it, and that's how it will control the population of these leaf miners and leaf hoppers. So these are some control measures you can do for beetroot. Thank you so much. This was all for today. You can contact me if you have any queries or you need consultations for kitchen gardening and plant health. You'll learn about carrots and radishes from the coming speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa, for an informative presentation. Now we have a second speaker, Ms. Stella Pyrus. She is a recent agriculture graduate. Her determination of getting self-employed in food sector made her choose agriculture as a profession. She is currently running a setup called Casa de Vegetais, wherein she grows veggies and microgreens at home and sells it too. Today she'll be talking about planting and care of carrots. Over to you, Stella. You can continue.
Thank you, Priyanka. So my topic for today is planting and care of carrots. Next slide, please. So carrot, the scientific name is Dogus carota. It is a cool season crop, and the color of the carrot, that is that nice intense orange color, it develops when it has a temperature of 15 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius. And carrot, as it is a root crop, so it requires a long, deep, loose, loamy soil, and it requires a pH of 6 to 7 for getting higher production. Next slide, please. Now, carrots can be grown on soil as well as in pots. So, for pots, as Lisa mentioned in the earlier presentation, that is for beetroots, she had mentioned that first layer you put as gravel, then the next layer you put is the potting mix. So, prepare potting mix, the ratio is 3 is to 2 is to 1. That is 3 parts of coco pit. So, if you don't have coco pit, you can use rice husk, that is known as pundo in Konkani, or else leaf mulch, and 2 parts of soil and 1 part of compost. It can be vermicompost also or any other compost. Next slide, please. So the best season for planting carrots is in the month of November. As in Goa, we have a very short winter season, so it is ideal to grow carrots in the month of November so that we get an yield in the month of February. So within 4 months or 3 to 4 months, this crop gets ready. Field preparation. So whenever you grow carrots in the field, you need to take care is you'll need to plow the field well. There are 2 plowings required, and ridges and furrows are to be made of having a spacing of 30 centimeter between 2 ridges. So ridges are made in Konkani and furrows are tsar in Konkani. And so as it is a root crop, so the soil should be very loose. So that's why around 2 plowings are required so that the soil is nice and loose, so that the crop, when it is growing, it goes deep into the ground and it gets enough of space to grow. Next slide, please. Sowing. So for sowing of carrot, you need to maintain a spacing of around 25 to 30 centimeters between 2 rows, and between 2 plants there should be at least 10 centimeters spacing. So what happens is when you grow carrots, the seeds are very small, so you need to grow mix it with the if you mix 1 part of seed, then you need to have 4 parts of soil. So and mix it with it and sow the carrot seeds. Then before there will be overcrowding which will occur. So for that you'll need to do thinning. That is, you'll need to thin out the carrot plants and sow them properly and maintain a distance of about 10 centimeters between the plants. Then before sowing, the seed treatment You can do it with trichoderma to avoid seed-borne diseases like damping off. The irrigation for the crop should be given once in a day. It should be either given early in the morning or in the evening. So either once in a day is enough. You all need not irrigate it like twice in a day, because more irrigation the can cause disease to the crop, and that can be harmful for the crop. Next slide, please. Fertilizer application. So you need to apply when you plow the soil, that time you'll need to apply around 5 tons of decomposed manure for 1 hectare area. That is the recommended dose. And neem cake 1,250 kgs per hectare. And you'll need to add green leaf manure at around within 60 days of planting. So, and also spraying of Panchagavya at the rate of 30 liters in 1 liter in per liter of water at 10 days interval after 1 month of sowing. So after your sow, after a month, you'll need to spray Panchagavya by keeping an interval of 10 days between spraying. Next slide, please. Now the pests and the diseases uh, which are harmful to the carrot crops. One pest is this nematode, which is there. So this root knot nematode, you all can see a green color picture of the nematode. Yeah, this is a microscopic picture of the nematode. We cannot see nematodes with our naked eyes. They are very small microorganisms which are worms. They look like worms, and this causes a disease in carrots, which get sort of when they attack the crop develops some boils or blisters like structures over them, which you can see in the picture on the left side. So what happens is they feed on the crop, and the crops then they have those galls like form on them. So they are like little knots which are formed on the fruit or crop. So then what happens is it reduces the market value of the crop, and there is no much market for the crop, so then it's a loss. So you all can go and so now to control the root knot nematode is by adding 1 ton of neem cake in 1 hectare area at the time of sowing, and follow crop rotation. So you can put to crop rotation by using marigold has this property of preventing nematodes. So it helps in getting rid of the nematodes in the field. Next slide, please. Disease. So now damping off is a disease which is caused mostly due to overwatering. So it is a very devastating disease, I can say. It can be seen in many crops, even in fenugreek and all. I don't know if y'all have grown, and y'all might have observed this disease even in tomatoes and chilies also, even in brinjals. So this is one disease which kills the plant. So it decays the root. As you all can see the picture, the plants, it becomes very thin and there is no proper growth of the plant, and it kills the plant. It sort of rots the root. So to control this, you'll need to add is trichoderma. So 5 kgs of trichoderma in 1 hectare of area at the time of land preparation would help you all to get rid of the disease. Or else once after sowing, once the crop starts growing, that it that is like it gets starts getting leaves. So that time you all can drench the soil with 5 ml in a liter of water of trichoderma. Next slide, please. So this is another disease which is leaf spot disease, which is observed in carrots. So there are these tiny black spots which are present on which occur on carrots. So you all can spraying of Pseudomonas fluorescens. That is its trade name is Persha. So you all can spray that at the rate of 5 ml in 1 liter of water. And sorry, you all can also spray around 3% of Dashagavya. Now, Dashagavya is a organic, I can say the same like Panchagavya, but it is made of 10 different types of leaves, which has this properties to repel pests and also diseases. Next slide, please. This is another disease which is usually caused during storage. So this disease and the damping of disease, the almost the causal organisms are same, the one who caused the disease. So that is known as a causal organism. So those both the things they have the same causal organism. So the soil has to be drenched with trichoderma, as I explained earlier, at the rate of 5 ml in 1 liter of water. And once the crop is harvested, all the debris which are there, they have to be removed and they have to be burned separately and not in the field, because the organism which is there, it can remain dormant. It has a tendency to remain dormant for years also. So care should be taken that the crops, the debris which are there after harvesting, they should be cleaned and removed from the field. The field should be sanitized and kept clean. Next slide, please. Harvesting. So while harvesting, you'll need to gently pull the carrot from the soil by grasping the top, and you'll need to loosen the soil around the root so that it comes out easily, or else there is a tendency of breaking the carrot. So the way we harvest radish or beetroot, it's the same way we need to harvest carrots also. And yeah, so you'll need to take care while harvesting also, so that you don't damage the you'll not like put any damage to the crop while harvesting. If that is there, there are cuts while harvesting, it tends like it becomes an entry for the pest or the diseases to occur on. So that can cause post harvest losses, and which can affect the yield, the income. Next slide, please. So this was grown in Goa by one of my friend's client. So see now on the left side, you all can see whenever there is delay in sowing and harvesting, how the carrots are formed. And on the right side, you all can observe that how they are nice and well grown when they are sowed at proper time and harvested at a proper stage or end time. So you can see the difference. So if anyone who is interested in growing for carrots for this season, now is it's the best time to start sowing, to get your seeds and to start sowing carrots. And by the month of February, you all will have a good yield. So before, whenever you'll go to sow, you'll need to remember some points, that it is a root crop, so it needs to go deep inside. So the soil should be loose. Even in the pots, when you'll grow, see that the soil is nice and loose, and the pot is almost fully filled when you'll sow it. Next slide, please. So uses of carrot, we use carrot can be eaten fresh or even cooked, and even carrot juice we consume it as a beverage. And the leaves of the carrot are used as animal feeds. If you have rabbits at home, they might be feeding on this carrot leaves. So you'll guess nothing goes waste in this crop. The leaves can be used as a feed for the animals, and the root is consumed by us. Next slide, please. So if you all need seeds of carrots or even seedlings of any other crop, not only carrots, like if you all need seeds or seedlings of any other crop, you all can contact me. And also we have I distribute in Salsit area. So we have ones in Mormugao and also in Bardej and Tiswari and Molem. That side also we distribute seeds, seedlings, and even organic manures. You all can contact me if anyone from Salsit. Then in Mormugao, we have Fruits of Hard Work, that is by Lisa Pinero. She does garden consultancies, as well as she has some products with her also, like Panchagavya if you all need, or vermicomposts, or any microbials if you all need. And in Mole and Bardes, we have Mrs. Priyanka Vandit Naik and Mr. Vandit Naik, who manufacture all this things, that is vermicompost and manures and fertilizers. So we are always ready to help y'all, and if you'll need any consultancy or you'll need us to guide y'all in your farm, and if you'll need anything for your farm, you all can definitely contact us. We are always ready to help y'all. And thank you for thank you so much for your attention and patiently listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Stella, for a wonderful presentation. I think surely most of us will surely grow carrots this season. And we have a last speaker, Mr. Akshay Parab. He is going to speak about the planting and care of radishes. So to tell you something about Akshay is he has completed his BSc Agriculture from Don Bosco College of Agriculture. He has also been awarded as a Krishnathan Award, being the scholar student of the college. And currently he is pursuing his MSc in MSc in Agriculture Horticulture in Fruit Sciences in lovely professional university in India. He is also an entrepreneur and owner of farm farm fresh mushrooms, which is going by Sateri Food Products in Amuna, Goa. Over to you, Akshay. You can go with your.
It's clear and visible.
Am I audible, sir?
Now, yes. We just heard two words.
Akshay, just wait for a while. I'll present your slide on PowerPoint.
Okay. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Today I'm going to speak on planting and care of radish. Okay, next slide. Go to the next slide. Okay, so here there's brief introduction of the radish crop. It belongs to the family Cruciferae, and it is a very popular and important root vegetable. It's grown throughout the India, and it is very common in Goa. So it is generally grown in this season. Uh, It is cultivated for its edible root and it becomes ready for harvest after nearly 5 to 6 weeks. And mostly it is grown as intercrop between the main crops, mostly in vegetable crops only. And its fleshy roots are eaten as raw or in salad or by cooking. Next slide. So there here we can see there are many health benefits of radish, like it helps to prevent jaundice, then urinary disorders, weight loss, then it also prevents the risk of cancer and it also helps in preventing many skin disorders. And radish is very rich in vitamin A and C, and it has cooling effects, prevents constipation and increases appetite. And it is mostly recommended to patients suffering from piles or liver troubles and lastly and jaundice. Basically, it is overall very good for health and it has many health benefits. Next slide. So now we are going to see the cultivation practices of radish. So first of all, we'll see soil and climate. So it grows very well in all types of soil, but light friable soils are more suitable, which are rich in organic matter. Then it requires a very fine and loose friable seed bed, because the main part which we are going to use is the root, and we need good growth of the root part. So we require very loose and friable seed bed. And speaking of climate, it generally requires cool and moderate climate. Then it is tolerant to heat, but it it will not produce a good quality of roots. It will produce some low quality when the temperature goes high. So it requires around 10 to 15 degrees of temperature for its good growth. During hot weather, the roots will become tough and it will become pungent before reaching the full size, and it will not give the yield as expected. Next slide. Soil preparation and manuring. It is a quick growing crop, and therefore it requires readily available nutrients in the soil. So we are going to supply the nutrients during the as basal dose during soil preparation. During soil preparation, we will add around 10 tons of compost and 200 kg of neem cake plus 1 kg of trichoderma for 1 hectare of field. Then second, we will also apply the nutrients at the time of earthing up, that is 15 to 20 days from the sowing. During earthing up, we can provide azotobacter, phosphate solubilizing bacteria, and trichoderma along with compost. Next slide. Then sowing. Before sowing, we will prepare the land. So land is generally prepared thoroughly with no clods, and soil should not contain any undecomposed organic matter, as it will lead to forking. And we should also provide waterlogging, as it can lead to collar rot disease. Then it is sown all year round, but normally this is the proper time for sowing, like November, December. And while sowing, we have to also keep in mind that we have to sow the seeds in succession of around 15 days, so that we get continuous harvest for after 4 to 5 weeks. As it is a very quick growing crops, we have to space it at 15 days interval. Then sowing is done on ridges or raised beds. Then radish seeds are generally sown on ridges 45 centimeter apart and about 20 centimeter high in small furrows with fine sand or soil mixed by hand. The seed is covered with soil, and then soil is made firm around it. Then before sowing, seed treatment with trichoderma is recommended. Next slide. Intercultural operations, normally 2 to 3 weedings are recommended. Then during the first weeding, earthing up is done, and also application of trichoderma and phosphate solubilizing bacteria. And at the time of second weeding, thinning is recommended if seeds during the sowing, if seed population is more, then thinning is recommended at second weeding. Next slide. Then maturity and harvesting. Radish should be harvested according to the variety when the roots are still tender and crisp. The radish are not harvested from the whole field at one time, but they are harvested as and when they become big enough for the market or home consumption. Radish should be harvested at proper time. A few days delay in harvesting may lead to peaty and quite unsuitable. It may be unsuitable for consumption. During harvesting, we will come to know that it is ready for harvesting when small part of the radish roots will be visible above the ground. That is the proper stage to harvest. Then speaking of plant protection, there are not so many diseases occur, but Alternaria blight and white rust is normally seen. So application of trichoderma and during soil preparation helps in overcoming these diseases. And speaking of pest, there are aphids can be seen and mustard sawfly can be seen on the crop. This can be controlled by a neem oil spray, 3% neem oil spray. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Akshay, for a detailed presentation on cultivation of radish. Now we are to the end of the webinar topics. Now we open for a question answer session. If any one of you have any queries about the earlier topics, you can unmute yourself or you can type the question in the chat box and we will answer your queries. There is a question, how to grow radish in pots? Akshay, you would like to answer?
Yes, you can grow it in pots, but care should be taken that soil should be very loose and friable. Uh, while preparing soil, it is recommended to mix soil and compost at around 2:1 proportion to keep it very friable and free. And proper spacing should be maintained around 5 to 10 centimeter spacing should be maintained between the two seeds for its proper growth.
Any more questions?
If there are no questions, you can wind up, Priyanka.
There is one more question in the chat box. What you mean by applying trichoderma? Is it mixed in the soil or just spread over the soil?
Trichoderma can be seed treatment is also recommended, and during soil preparation, it can be mixed in compost and applied in the soil also. It is not absolutely necessary, but to prevent fungal diseases, it is recommended. Normally, some fungal diseases come through soil. The fungus is spread. That's why trichoderma is applied during land preparation. And some seed-borne fungus are also there. Therefore, seed treatment is recommended.
Any more questions? There is a question. We have to wait before we sow the soil after trichoderma application, and how to store trichoderma. There are two questions in the chat.
Trichoderma is available in powder and liquid form, so you can store it in airtight container and in a cool space. Do not keep it in sun because of too much of heat, the fungus might dry. So that's why it's recommended to keep it in cool and dry space. Also, when you do seed treatment, make sure that you dry the seeds for about half an hour in shade and then you can go for sowing. So you have to wait for about half an hour until it dries completely and then you can sow it in the field.
Okay, so there are no more questions. Then we are towards the end of the webinar. I would like to thank all the participants